Let's start off with a question. Have you ever, even for once, read and then agreed the terms and conditions? I'm asking for you to answer honestly. Because like the other 97% of young adults, we don't read terms and conditions. But actually, why? It's really understandable that we might not be aware of the risks that the terms and conditions and the data violations of big companies are holding. So let me share you a real life anecdote that the terms and conditions are really crucial.
A few months ago, my cousin, who is only 7 years old, got my aunt's phone and then downloaded a pretty decent looking app, a game. And a few days later, my aunt found out that a large amount of money was transactioned from her bank account. But why? Do you think that is it legal? No. It's not ethical, but it's pretty illegal. So, what is the purpose of terms and conditions? Terms and conditions are basically the legal boundaries between us, users, and the service providers. They're really legally binding. So, for an example,
some terms and conditions are even longer than Shakespeare's Hamlet, which is a theater play, as you know. So it's really hard to read and understand by ourselves, but we just don't read it and skip. Agree on. But why do we do it? Actually, the reason of the terms and conditions are basically to to sell our data to third parties. So, what do they do? Actually, is put a bunch of text and some legal stuff that we won't be able to comprehend, and then they found a way to pay for their so-called free apps, which we use in everyday life. Do you really think that the apps we use every day are actually free? How do they have money for their wages and thousands of people working there? Actually, data is the new currency in 21st century. So the terms and conditions are the tools they use to sell our data to other people. And also, for example, when we subscribe to an app on a monthly or yearly basis, we do often forget our subscription, or maybe don't see the details, and then think of it as a free trial, subscribe it with no thoughts, right? So actually, about 30% of Americans forget their auto-renew subscriptions. Even they don't use that app, just because they agreed on their terms and conditions. They don't have the chance to cancel it, and it renews for a year or so on. So, you probably heard of this privacy concerns all of the time, right? Like 91% of the population, the whole population, feel concerned about their data. Because your data is publicly out there. You're making them use and maybe even colonize your data to pay their wages, and in a way or somehow with terms and conditions. So let me give an example from one of the most known terms and conditions. It's Facebook's, known as Meta. So it's really so hard that even a law student won't be able to read it. And let me tell you a fact that it is 25,000 words, as I told you, longer than most of the theater plays. So we do have some privacy concerns at all, right? But we can't do anything because those services are really necessary for our daily life. We watch videos, we scroll through it, we find some maybe informative knowledge in it. So someone took an action over it. Like we think we don't do anything, but GDPR in Europe, which stands for General Data Protection Regulation, in Europe, they are actually demanding for a transparent language and understandable structure for the terms and conditions. Actually, let me give you an example over this too. Recently, some of the biggest Silicon Valley companies they launched a new product, but in Europe, it wasn't allowed due to the regulations, the data regulations. So, power is our knowledge, as we know. But what can we do to avoid those traps? It's so basic. One, we need to review the terms and conditions we're facing. We need to review the terms and conditions. There are many tools out there, such as, let me give you an example. You can even use your own browser's shortcut, like Control F or Command F, to search the dangerous keywords in that terms and conditions. And you might not find it suitable. It is probably not. But the easiest solution out there is there are many non-profit communities and online websites that helps you through this data protection journey. You can go there, to type your app's name, and find summarized key points and concerns about your terms and conditions. And last but not least, we need to set reminders. Probably most of us use some subscription-based apps nowadays, right? Even if it's not free, it's paid. But to not be like one of three of Americans, we need to set some reminders or write some notes about our auto-renew dates and not forget to cancel the free trial. We need to be conscious, aware, and owner of our digital being. Thank you.